So we're headed up what I call the Ridge Road here. So this is the road that shows up on the 1895 USGS historical topo map. I always like to stop at this corner because this road is just in pristine condition right here. This is the first switchback, and then it goes about another 1/10 of a mile back here. Then it cuts into the canyon and runs up the side of the canyon quite a ways. I'll fire up the camera if there's something interesting up here. I've shot video of most of this. Okay, making my way up the road, I got to the cut where it goes back into the canyon, and this was about 4 years since the first time I came up, and I remember I got stopped way down there about halfway from that first switchback up to here by just an impenetrable wall of brush. So coming up today, I was waiting and waiting. I went through a couple of little brushy sections, and it's like, yeah, that bad one is coming up, it's coming up, and then all of a sudden I'm here. And it's like, yeah, this is the big turn where it goes into the canyon here. 4 years ago when I got stopped down there, that was kind of the first time I'd really hiked much off trail, and I just had the old 1895 topo map, and it wasn't calibrated or anything, so I was just kind of going by a picture of the map and then just following this old road. And I got to that first brushy spot, and I was in just bike shorts and short sleeve jersey. I think it was pretty warm that year. That was time to turn around. I don't want to go any farther. And this year I came up and I was waiting for the hard spot, and I just walked right through it, I guess. Okay, yeah, we made it up to the switchback at the top of the canyon there, and I found my cutover trail, but then I figured I needed to go up. That was the thing I learned last year when I came up here, and let me show you here. So we'll go to configure map, and let me go down here to overlay. So I've got my overlay map, and let me turn the transparency down. Let's put the transparency right about there, I guess. Yeah, so what I'm trying to do is I'm going up the ridge here. Instead of going over to the left, I'm going more down and to the right because I want to get to this grassy meadow. And so I'm trying to head for that first little piece of that grassy meadow there. You can see there's some slightly different color green in there. So I've got to see what that green is. Hopefully I can get through there, and it's just trees, and there's so far it's pretty open. So let me show you what it looks like on the camera here. Okay, that switchback at the top of the canyon is down there. I came across that little trail that comes up here, and then I came up the ridge from the road, and then I started coming up above the old road here. So far it's looking passable here. And just when you think you're in some place that nobody's ever been before, you find an old can here. So what is this here? Oh, that's an older can. Ham's beer with the pull tab. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to try to work my way through here, and hopefully I hit some grass. That is the goal today. Okay, I've been making my way up this ridge here, and I kind of want to go that direction, but every time I cut across there, I kept hitting brush, so I had to keep kind of making loops and coming up higher. And that was my advice to myself last spring when I came up here, was stay up as high as you can. It doesn't look like it, but according to the aerial imagery, there's an area of grass, looks like grass anyway. It says I'm less than 50 feet away from that clearing, so I think it's time to try to climb under this brush here and see if that's the case. I would go through there, but that's not a possibility, and I'd have to go way up high. I could do that, but then I miss this first little part of the meadow. There's a bigger meadow farther over, but that just means I have to go through more of this. Okay, yeah, I was just on the other side of that wall of brush there and climbed right through this little tunnel underneath. And sure enough, look at that. You come right out on this grassy meadow. I've been coming up here, 3 years now, trying to find this, and I never had any way of finding it. You know, with the topo map and the hillshade map, you can't tell that this is here. So now I've got to switch back to my hillshade map and see if I can find where the trace of that old road is. I think you have to go down here. There's a little narrow strip of grass, and then the big meadow is on the other side over there. Yeah, this is like the hill at Gold Mine Creek. Just a grassy meadow like this. Oh, there you have some of these iris growing down here. Just starting to bloom. Okay, yeah, I came down that little meadow, and there was almost looks like a road through there, a clearing anyway. And I guess this is the bigger meadow. I'm pretty sure they were running cattle up here. Got a fence post here. Now that looks pretty old. That is an old, probably redwood post. And then there's a little gully here, and they have another, looks like a water tank that somebody cut open and made into probably a cattle watering trough. Something shows up on the hillshade map. I've got to check. I don't know if it's these gullies. Oh wow, you can see those guys up there. Huh. They must be flying out of Moffett Field. I think that's those osprey with the vertical takeoff. Yeah, so again, I might have to study the map a little bit now that I figured out how to get here. This stuff here, these gullies, might be what I'm seeing on the hillshade map. These may have actually been dug. You know, they might have like had a spring farther up here and then, you know, dug a little ditch to feed water down here for the cattle. That could very well be, because this looks a little bit man-made here. You know, you've got this gully, and then there's like a whole pile of dirt over there. These are some of the marks that show up on the hillshade map. They seem to line up with a road that does go up the side of the canyon. So I don't know if this is a road and maybe it's just eroded right there, and you can see it's quite deeply eroded. There's a pretty deep gully right down there. So yeah, and there's a lot of these little erosion gullies, I guess. But yeah, then you go through here, and this is where you get to the big meadow. And you can see even over there, there's quite a bit of erosion. And this is the same red, crumbly stuff. This is all crumbly, little tiny bits of rock, and then the finer stuff. This is about 1,600 feet. If you go down about 200 vertical feet, you hit that vertical landslide scar. And it's all this same stuff. You know, looking at the hillshade map, this whole thing here is probably a landslide deposit that's come from farther up the canyon. There's a road down below that goes into this canyon here, but it's quite a ways down. Yeah, it's down at the bottom, just right above the slide. So you'd have to go down, yeah, about 200 vertical feet to get to that road and then follow it into the canyon. And then I believe that road runs up this canyon and then it crosses and goes up the other side. Look at those old trees though. Man, those are some old oak trees. Yeah, maybe I'll hike up there. Yeah, these are these big old oak trees here. Wow. Look at this. Yeah, and there's once you get up that steep meadow, all of a sudden it flattens out again. Yeah, I don't really have enough time. I gotta start turning back here. But wow, look at the view up here. Down that big meadow. Whole south side of the canyon over there. The meadow continues over here. Starting to dry out over here with the grass. And yeah, it's like flat up here. There's a big flat area. So yeah, this is probably where they were mainly grazing their cattle. From what it looks like on the aerial imagery map, wherever this road is, kind of continues up a ways. Yeah, this might be it. There's kind of something that looks like a clearing that comes up through here and heads up that way. So yeah, if I get up here again, I can just come up to this point. And then if I ever can figure out how to get down there, there's that other old road down at the bottom. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it quits here. Finally found the meadow up here. Yeah, it's been 4 years since I first found this ridge road down at the bottom, and 2 years that I failed to get up here to this area, and finally on the third try to get up here, I made it up here. So yeah, big thumbs up for the aerial imagery. That's the only way to go up here. And you need the hillshade to find the signs of the road, but you need the aerial imagery to find out where the clear areas are that you can get around to get to the road. So I want to try to get a couple of hikes farther up the canyon this spring, but I wanted to do this one first because it's lower down. We'll wrap up the video. Hope you enjoyed that. And as always, thanks for watching.